E aí, amigos, tudo bem com vocês? Frango Doido trazendo a parte 2 aqui de Vampyr, o jogo do Doutor Vampiro. Vamos continuar a missão, pau no gato, logo após a vinheta. Iniciando, galera, a parte 2 aqui de Vampyr, leve-me para um hospital. Hospital Pembroke.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Mr. Hampton needs me right now.
Ok, desculpa aí.
We'll have a word in my office later, Jonathan.
Tá bom, desculpa aí.
You can do better than that. It's my turn.
Ih, tá rolando uma treta ali. Vixe.
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the secret of life.
Nossa.
Drink at this river, try it all.
Um golinho de sangue, hein, amigão?
Oh, come on, you bastard. I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse.
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reid.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Enfeitiçar. Ó. Sai, demônio maldito. Só quero seu sangue.
Fading light into the shadows. Dance with you, the dance of life and death.
Meu, que da hora. Siga o rastro vermelho, mas cadê? É pra lá.
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
É legal, galera, que ele mesmo sendo vampiro, ele ainda tem aquela... a mente do ser humano, né? Ele ainda tem aquela qualidade de vivo dentro dele ainda. E ele tem essa constante luta aí entre o matar e o curar as pessoas, né? Porque até então ele é um médico. É uma história muito legal, né?
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reid. Your office has been prepared.
Beleza.
I would like to ask a few questions first.
Esse vampiro é curioso, né, meu?
And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
Ó, quebrou ele na emenda, hein?
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
Ok.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Corre, corre. Eita, bicho.
Dr. Swansea is
É um
right.
velocista.
This place seems perfect to conduct my
À
research.
esquerda, depois das escadas. Evite tossir em público. Alguma coisa de útil aqui pra mim? Não, já vou direto pra minha sala. Beleza, o corredor à esquerda, então. Creio eu ser ali. Ó, aqui, ó. Aqui, Dr. Reid. Minha sala, deixa eu conhecer o meu escritório.
It's
Olha.
definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't
uma
be sleeping in a
caminha.
coffin.
Opa, achei ali não sei o que. Não sei pra que serve aquilo. Tratamentos. Amostra de sangue. Analisando. Uma aposta. Opa, tem o 38.
William Bishop's
Beleza.
blood is much more unstable than
Opa,
the
alguma coisa
sun
aqui.
is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night.
Frasco de vidro. Opa, artigo sobre econs.
I have so much time now.
Artigo sobre econs. Mata dragões. Ok.
I cannot enter.
Devo sair agora em busca de informações. Agora, que tipo de informações? Informações pra quê? Opa! Prontuário. Vou até o topo. Não. Perdi foi tempo. Corre!
Good
Quanto
evening.
mais eu converso,
I'm
mais eu
Dr.
pego
Reid, the new
informações.
surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reid, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Olha! Perguntas pessoais, eu quero saber.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see.
Meu, que mulher muito doida, cara.
These people will not find you here.
Se ela realmente fosse uma vampira, não ia sair falando pra todo mundo, né?
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
É, mulherzinha, você é muito doida.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Dama das trevas.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet.
Bom, eu creio que essa fase aqui será só de falatórios, hein?
Dr. Jonathan Reid. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You're right. When dealing with such a terrible disease, one must remain humble. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try our best.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients.
Caramba, uma gripe.
Out of everything.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
Beleza, vamos voltar então.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
É, por que ele não gosta de médico?
Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Esse Milton é muito chato, meu. Não tenho mais pergunta não. Tchau.
Bye, Nurse Hawkins.
Daqui a pouco a gente troca mais ideia. Eita. Ah, é o doutor.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reid. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reid.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great
Esse
admirer
vampiro é
of your
curioso,
work.
viu?
Blood transfusion, Dr. Reid. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am
Caramba, o
honored to have the
vampiro foi
opportunity to work
inspiração
by
pro
your side.
cara, né?
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reid. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these
Uma conversa não acaba mais não, é muito assunto.
A test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Putz. E os papos não acabam, cara.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him? Or to prove your point?
Oh, boa pergunta, hein?
I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reid. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin.
4 meses depois.
First claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Oh, acabou. Não me diga que ainda tem pergunta pessoal ainda. Não, ufa.
Goodbye,
Adeus,
Dr.
tchau.
Strickland.
Nesse papo já deve ter morrido umas 30 pessoas.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Finn.
Caramba, vai
All I
explicar
want is to get my
até,
bloody arm fixed properly.
até o dia clarear.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reid.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reid? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
Acabou? Ah, não. Acabou.
Tell me
Mais papo
about your
ainda.
injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me, and now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself, but I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Vai comer com a
How
boca,
could
ué.
your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army, building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say
Típico
that she
dos
did
jogos de RPG, esse falatório
this, I
todo.
have no idea.
É muita trela.
I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
Acabou, acabou. Não lembro sobre isso aqui, já foi.
Goodbye
Adeus,
for now,
tchau.
Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Vai dormir.
Down, my boy.
Você de novo?
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Onde fica a saída?
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Que doidão. Posso ajudar, doutor? Beleza, não, obrigado.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reid. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Sempre perguntas pessoais.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Ótimo. Eu tô cansado de tanta conversa aqui, meu.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
Isso aí.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
You always knew the word.
Falou e não adiantou bolufa. É o médico que eu falei aquela hora?
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reid. Can I be of any help?
Ah, já falei, né? Eu já.
Goodbye, Dr.
Sei
Strickland.
não, você andou gostando desse médico aí, hein? Descubra quem está espionando Thelma. Olha a luz ali, quem é que está
Thelma
espionando
Harcroft
Thelma?
said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they
Porta está
hiding?
trancada,
I should
ei.
investigate.
I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife.
Vou descobrir quem tá espionando Thelma, vou dar uma surra nesse filho de uma égua. Oi, mulher.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
Ah, não, de novo.
I'm okay.
Eu queria falar com a mulher, rapaz. Olha lá, esse cara não quer papo não, meu.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
E você, garota?
Waste your time with me.
Good evening, madam.
Ah, não
Can I
é tão garota assim não.
Who needs you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reid? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and
Cara,
I'll
o
cover
doente é
all
o
the
cara e
expenses.
ele quer saber da vida da mulher. Mas é curioso esse cara,
May I
rapaz.
ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
Caramba, suborno lá, olha.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reid. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Não mesmo. Mais alguma coisa? Não. Quer saber de mais nada, não. Tchau. Quem foi a enfermeira que cuidou desse caso? Tem alguém lá do outro lado. Foi você? Foi você que
Good evening,
cobrou lá?
Miss Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Pronto,
Goodbye,
sem
Miss
papo.
Hawkins.
Tem muita ideia não. A luzinha vermelha lá.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reid.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore.
Tá de jaleco branco aí, mas ele é um bombeiro.
Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
O que você tem de bom, cara? Codeína. Compro tudo. Ópio. Compro. Fórmula enigmática. Não, não quero nada enigmático não, meu irmão. Obrigado. Ah, camarada, tem mais uma pergunta pra você, rapaz.
Good evening, Dr. Reid. Such a pleasure to...
Caramba, acabei de virar as costas, voltei, é um prazer em rever-me.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine...
Eu falo, meu, você acabou de comprar de mim, não sabe o que eu vendo?
So I trade. I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
Assim espero, né, meu?
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job.
Milton aí tá por todo canto aí. Todo mundo que conversa aqui fala de Milton.
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Do you work here alone?
Trabalha sozinho aqui. Essa pergunta é meio estranha, hein, Vampiro?
The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Caramba, gostou de conversar com esse cara, hein, meu?
We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Oh, acabou o papo.
Goodbye, Mr. Chadana.
Ufa, Chadana é o nome do cara. E aí, Chadana, tá trancado? Fica o pé nisso aí, meu. Ô, vampiro mole.
I'm sorry you ended up my plane.
Ah, não, aquele doutor de novo. Não.
I'm Dr. Reid. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reid, yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swans's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
É chato, hein, cara?
It seems you have bad memories of your military military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reid, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
You used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
Rapaz, você tá brincando com fogo.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reid. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Aren't you too old for such jealousy? It really won't do you any good.
Seu invejoso, nanico invejoso.
A simple glance is enough for me to know you have nothing for me to envy.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become...
Ih, já tá ficando invocado com o chefe, hein, meu?
Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
I really hope you're right about this, Dr. Ackroyd. I'm trusting your judgment on this.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reid. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Pronto, já falamos tudo. Tem mais assunto, cara.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Ó, ainda sai com cara de mal ainda. Ainda sai com cara de mal. Meu, mas tem tanta gente pra conversar. Embora que aqui eu acho que eu já falei com todo mundo. Já falei com você umas 40 vezes. Esses dois aqui de novo. Quem é você? Ah, falei com você agora. Você ainda continua aqui, cara. Todos os pacientes pra ver, não? Você já bati um leve também. Você é a vampira. Tem alguma informação nova?
How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Não tem mais nada
I'll
pra
leave
falar,
you,
não.
Mistress of the
Continua maluca.
to your nocturnal activities.
E lá em cima? Tem algo vermelho lá em cima, deixa eu ver. Opa.
I cannot enter.
Tanta porta trancada assim. Olha. Alguém? Ninguém? Regeneração rápida, boa, opa! Beleza. Fazendo upgrade aqui nas minhas habilidades. Sangue. Desbloqueado, ó que maravilha. 40%. Ah, garoto. Tô ficando bruto. Ciência. Posso carregar 3 soros? Não tenho aqui suficiente. Não tem mais nada aqui. Tranquilo. Agressiva. Não vou ter suficiente. Nem a pau, Juvenal. Tá ótimo. Confirma, oh. Boa.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete.
Pois bem, galera, conversei com todo mundo aqui. Peguei algumas informações aqui extremamente valiosas. Vou encerrando o vídeo por aqui. Quem não é um inscrito, por favor, se inscreva. Deixa aquele like, dá um trabalho para ser um vampiro que você nem imagina, meu. Ative o sininho de notificações para receber os próximos vídeos. Um forte abraço. Fui! Que já tá ficando de dia, eu tenho que me esconder. Tchau.
E aí galera, gostaram do vídeo de hoje? Espero que sim. Não esqueçam de deixar o like e para você que ainda não é inscrito no canal, se inscreva e ative o sininho para receber as notificações. Tem vídeos novos todas as semanas. Não esqueça de compartilhar nas suas redes sociais. Um forte abraço e até o próximo vídeo.